You are staring at the Social Security website. 3 numbers. Your benefit at 62, at 67, at 70. The difference looks modest, a few $100s a month. You have worked 40 years. You deserve to finally collect. So you hover over that 62 button. It feels responsible. It feels earned. But that single click will cost you $182,000 over your lifetime. Not because you did something wrong, because the system is designed to make the wrong choice feel right. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how this satisfying decision becomes the most expensive one you will ever make. Let me introduce you to Linda. She is 61 years old. She spent 35 years as a teacher, and she is finally approaching the finish line. Her Social Security statement shows 3 numbers. At 62, she will receive $1,860 per month. At 67, her full retirement age, she will get $2,480. And if she waits until 70, she will collect $3,075 every single month. Linda looks at these numbers and does what most people do. She thinks about the math she has been taught. Claim at 62, and you get paid for 8 extra years. That is 96 additional checks before someone who waited until 70 receives their first one. It seems obvious. Get your money while you can. But here is what Linda does not see. That $1,860 is not a starting point. It is a permanent ceiling. By claiming at 62, she is locking in a 30% reduction for the rest of her life. Not for a year. Not until she hits some magic number. Forever. Every single check she receives for the next 25 or 30 years will be 30% smaller than it needed to be. The system does not present this as a loss. It presents it as eligibility. You are eligible at 62. You have earned this. But eligible does not mean optimal. It means permitted. And in this case, you are being permitted to accept less, permanently. Here is the psychological genius of it. The Social Security Administration sends you a statement showing all 3 options, but the framing is subtle. Age 62 is labeled as early retirement. Age 67 is labeled as full retirement. But the term full makes it sound like the maximum. It is not. Waiting until 70 increases your benefit by another 24% beyond full retirement, but that option does not get a special name. It is just a number. Linda claimed at 62. It felt responsible. She will collect approximately $223,000 less over her lifetime than if she had waited until 70. That is not a small difference. That is a house. That is a decade of comfortable living. Gone. Not because Linda was irresponsible, but because she followed the path the system made easiest. Now let us talk about what actually pushes people like Linda to claim early. And this is where it gets darker. There are 3 fears that drive early claiming. The first is mortality. What if I die at 68? I will have left money on the table. The second is systemic collapse. What if Social Security goes bankrupt? I should get mine while I can. The third is immediate need. I need the money now. I cannot afford to wait. Each of these fears feels rational, but each one has been distorted by the system. The mortality fear is built on a myth called the break-even point. You have probably heard this. If you claim early, you will be ahead until you reach a certain age. Then the person who waited catches up. The break-even for 62 versus 70 is roughly 80 years old. So the logic goes, if you do not think you will live past 80, claim early. But this framing is backwards. It treats Social Security as a bet against your own lifespan. It ignores that the purpose of retirement income is to protect your most vulnerable years. Not your 60s, when you are healthy and active, your 80s and 90s, when healthcare costs spike and options narrow. Let me tell you about my neighbor Robert. He waited until 70. His wife thought he was crazy, but Robert understood something most people do not. He did not need the money at 62. He had some savings, he could bridge the gap. So he waited. Today, Robert receives $1,215 more per month than his neighbor who claimed at 62. That is $14,580 extra per year. At 82, Robert is not worried about running out of money. His neighbor is. The people who claim early are disproportionately those who feel they have no choice. They are trapped in what I call the salary trap. They have spent their working lives with expenses that match their income. No gap, no savings. So when 62 arrives, they need that check. They cannot afford to wait. This is the system's most insidious trick. The people who can least afford to lose $182,000 are exactly the ones who do. They claim early because they are financially desperate, and that early claim guarantees they will stay financially desperate. You are not making a retirement decision. You are being guided toward one. I want you to imagine something. You are 85 years old. Your body is not what it was. You need help with things you used to do easily. Healthcare costs are climbing. And every single month, a check arrives that is $760 smaller than it needed to be. That is what $182,000 means in real terms. Spread over 20 years of retirement, it is $760 less every month. Not when you are 65 and traveling, when you are 85 and vulnerable, when your options have narrowed and your ability to earn more is gone. Here is the longevity reality no one talks about when they mention break-even points. The average 65-year-old man today lives to 84. The average woman lives to 87. And 1 in 4 people who reach 65 will live past 90. You are not betting against living to 80. You are betting against living to 90. And if you lose that bet, you lose it during the years when you need money most. The break-even framing tricks you into thinking about your 70s. But Social Security is not designed to protect your 70s. It is designed to protect your 80s and 90s, the decades when savings run out and healthcare costs explode. Claiming early does not hurt you at 66. It hurts you at 86 when it is too late to fix. This is what I call comfortable poverty. At 65, you will not feel poor. You will have your check. You will manage. But every year, inflation erodes that fixed amount a little more. Every year, your needs grow while your income stays flat. And by 85, that decision you made at 62 has quietly drained 6 figures from your retirement. You did not feel the loss when it happened. You feel it now when there is nothing you can do. Over 70% of Americans claim Social Security before their full retirement age. Most of them will tell you they wish they had waited. But by then, the decision is permanent. There is no going back. The moment you realize this is a choice, not a default, everything changes. You stop asking, when can I start collecting, and start asking, what will I actually need at 85? Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. The system is not evil. It is just designed for efficiency, not for your individual outcome. And that means you have to design for yourself. Now, this is not about waiting until 70 for everyone. Some people should claim early. If you have a serious health condition that significantly shortens your life expectancy, early claiming makes sense. If you are in genuine financial crisis with no other options, you do what you have to do. If you have a specific spousal strategy where one partner claims early while the other waits, that can work. But these are exceptions. They are strategic choices made from clarity. Most people do not claim early for strategic reasons. They claim early because they are scared, because they are trapped, or because they never understood what they were giving up. Here are the questions that actually matter. First, can I cover my expenses for 4 to 8 more years without Social Security? This is the gap. If you can bridge it, you can wait. If you cannot, start building it now. Second, what is my realistic life expectancy based on my family history and health? Be honest. Most people underestimate how long they will live. Third, am I making this decision from clarity or from fear? Fear of dying early, fear of the system collapsing, fear of missing out. Fear makes expensive decisions. Fourth, have I calculated the actual lifetime difference, not just the monthly difference? Run the numbers to 85, run them to 90, see what you are really choosing. The goal is not just to delay claiming, the goal is to have the choice. The moment you build enough savings to bridge the gap, something shifts. You are no longer trapped. You can wait because you want to, not because you have to. You can make the decision that serves your future self, not just your present fears. The Social Security timing trap is real. It is sophisticated, but it is not inescapable. The people who avoid it are not smarter or luckier. They just became aware. They saw the system for what it is, and they decided that one satisfying check at 62 was not worth decades of smaller ones. You have that same choice. If you found this breakdown valuable and want to learn how retirement systems actually work, subscribe. New videos every week, each one getting you closer to making decisions from strategy instead of fear. Thanks for watching.